Business in the 217 with Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk, and keeping you plugged in with what's going on out at the University of Illinois Springfield with their PAC Center. And joining us is the director of the UIS PAC, Bryan Rives. Bryan, thanks for taking time. How are you?
Well, thank you for having me here. I'm doing great.
Good to hear. So we've got, of course, a wonderful venue out there. Beautiful seating. You could see virtually any type of production from, the city council swearing in their officials to, a laser light show. Tell us about what you guys got coming up soon.
Well, we have a lot of great things coming up. Some of the major shows that are happening soon are we have the National Broadway touring production of Hairspray stopping by the Performing Arts Center on April 19th. We also have comedian Ron White on April 28th, and I have to say I am really excited to have him back in the hall because he is the performer that was about to take the stage right when we shut down because of the COVID pandemic. I mean, I was on his tour bus about an hour and a half before he was supposed to go on stage telling him that he couldn't perform that night.
Oh, that's incredible. And this is going to be probably his last time making the circuit, right?
Yes, this will be his last appearance in Springfield. He has publicly announced that he will stop touring at the end of this calendar year. So if you want to see Ron White, this is going to be your last chance in Springfield. It's on April 28th. We have very, very few tickets left. I think there was like 10 or 15 pairs of tickets left, mostly in the balcony, and then we have some scattered singles for anybody out there that doesn't have a date for April 28th.
If people want more information about all of the different productions that are coming up, where can they find that?
At uispac.com. That's our website. And real quickly, we also have the British Invasion coming on May 1st. We have Styx coming on May 5th. Trey Kennedy, May 13th. The list goes on. And, of course, Weird Al Yankovic is going to be in Springfield on May 22nd, and tickets are going fast for that one as well.
I would imagine. Yeah, that's one of those shows where it's like I think a lot of people are itching to see that. But just to go back to the Ron White story, because that's just a fascinating story, right? It's been a really tough 2 years. I think, obviously restaurants were hit pretty hard, but live performers also were hit pretty hard. I know there were several concerts I had lined up to go see in 2020, and, both had to cancel after months of wondering, well, what directions things are going to go. But for people who had the Ron White tickets, I mean, finding out day of couldn't happen, but now here we are 2 years later going full circle. Talk about how things have changed so much, even in just the past month and a half or so, with some of the restrictions that were in place at the UIS PAC.
Well, first of all, I want to say the Springfield audiences have been wonderful in understanding that these shows had to be postponed, and some postponed multiple times. Now, of course, anybody that has a ticket to Ron White, just bring that ticket. It's still good for this rescheduled show. But in terms of what has happened, yes, a lot of venues around the country were in crisis. We were very fortunate at the UIS Performing Arts Center. We ended up receiving $1.4 million in federal grants as part of the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant Program. So that helped us survive financially. But right now, the challenge is letting people know it's safe to come back, or having people feel that it's safe to come back. Now, I know a lot of people were staying away because they didn't want to wear a mask for 2 hours, or they weren't vaccinated for whatever reason.
Or they didn't want to have to show their vaccination
status.
They
didn't want to show their vaccination status. Well, I want to let everybody know at the UIS Performing Arts Center, we are back to normal operations. So we are no longer checking vaccination status. We're not requiring masks to be worn, but of course, we absolutely encourage anybody that feels more comfortable wearing a mask to do so. But otherwise, it is life is normal. So if you'd like to come out, if you're tired of being cooped up in the house, please look at our website, uispac.com. We've got something for everybody. Come down and enjoy the show.
It's exciting because, seeing people back into live performance, there's nothing like it, right? I mean, you can watch something streaming online somewhere that might be live, but there's really nothing like being actually in person, watching a performer on stage or watching a group on stage. So exciting to see that coming back to life.
And I want to point out our concession stand is back open. We had Fiddler on the Roof the other day, and I had so many people say, "Oh, this is wonderful! The concession stand is open." So because we sell the beer, the wine, the popcorn, the snacks, and people really responded well to that.
We're talking with Bryan Rives. He is the UIS PAC director, talking about all the shows that are coming to town at the at the UIS Pavilion, and it's.
Wait, I would say UIS Performing Arts Center.
Thank you. Yes, the UIS Performing Arts Center. It's not a pavilion. It's a wonderful indoor venue where you can see all kinds of different concerts, and of course the COVID restrictions being lifted. Obviously, that's going to be a great thing for a lot of people, but people can still wear their masks if they want, if they feel comfortable doing that. But something else too, you guys are looking for with all the shows coming back. You're looking for some workers, some people to help out with all of the different types of operations.
Yes, a lot of people don't realize this, but it can take almost 125 people on our staff with volunteers to run these shows. So we are looking for people that are interested in working events. We pay $18.92 an hour. Just go to uispac.com. There's an employment tab or jobs information tab on there somewhere where you can submit your interests on jobs. And we're looking for people that are interested in on an event day working all day as part of the stage crew. No experience necessary. We'll train. Or if you're only available the evening of a show, a couple hours before through the end of the show, we have positions working in our concession stand, merchandise sales, parking lot attendance, a lot going on. So we're absolutely always looking for workers.
So not just awesome entertainment, but also employment opportunities there at UIS PAC.
Yes. And if you are not looking for employment, but you just want a volunteer opportunity, we're always looking for volunteers that would like to serve as ushers at shows.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Bryan Rives, director of the UIS PAC, greatly appreciate you taking the time and such good news to share with everybody out there who's been looking to get back into the live performance world. So appreciate you taking the time with us.
Well, thank you for having me.